gestanden. Die aktuelle Nummer 8 der Welt. Mit 3 Titeln auf der Pro Tour. Der frühere UK Open Champion. Wir begrüßen The Freeze, Danny Noppert. Außerdem begrüßen wir auf der Bühne unseren Referee für die ersten beiden Viertelfinals. Und das ist der Kirkulator, Kirk Bevins.
Well, hello and welcome back to the Steiermark-Halle in Graz, Austria for the final session of action at the Austrian Darts Open. 4 quarterfinals, 2 semi-finals and a final, all to come tonight. Somebody takes the title and wins £30,000 in ranking money. If it is Danny Noppert, it'll be the first time in his career that the Dutch number 2 has managed to win on the European circuit. Daryl Gurney has done it before, but it was some time ago. We've got a couple of Dutchmen, a couple of Englishmen, a couple of Northern Irishmen, a Welshman, and the greatest player ever from Austria. I think there may have been some shenanigans with the water glasses just there. Bit of mopping needed, but Rob Malarkey alongside me to find out who'll be the first man through to the semi-finals, and it's a difficult one to call. Danny Noppert is the higher ranked player. He's been playing better than Daryl Gurney for a considerable amount of time, but Gurney has been pretty impressive this weekend.
Yeah, and what Gurney has been, he's been very resilient as well. He had to come from behind to beat Luke Humphries. He lost the opening leg on a 13-darter, hit back with 6 without reply. And he was 3-1 down at one stage against Andrew Gilding earlier today. Gilding hit 2 tumblers checkouts in those first 3 legs that he won. But Gurney didn't panic, didn't get flustered, and quickly got into his stride, as he did yesterday.
Mensur Suljovic is not playing until the 3rd match tonight, the 3rd quarter-final. They have already started chanting his name.
It's the only name you can hear. But right now it's all about Noppert and Gurney, and if this evening's session is anything like the afternoon session, then we should be in for an absolutely cracking 4 hours or so. Noppert and Gurney to start things off. Gurney was a bit sharper on his finishing today as well. 6 out of 13, which is a good return.
It's not been an easy path to this stage for Daryl Gurney. It's not opened up. Stephen Bunting, very tough first-round draw. Then the top seed Luke Humphries. Then the UK Open champion Andrew Gilding. He has sent them all packing. He has not played his best stuff, but he has been solid and resilient, as you said.
Yeah, and also Noppert likewise hasn't had it easy either. He's had to overcome 2 Premier League players to get into this quarter-final this evening. Chris Dobie yesterday and Nathan Aspinall earlier on. Aspinall a winner on the Premier League stage in Rotterdam on Thursday night. Came here on a high, but is already on his way home.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how Danny Noppert won that game. He survived 4 match darts. He trailed all the way through until right at the very end, and he finished with an average 10 points lower than his opponent, but win it he did. Doppelganger leg, this, just following each other, score for score. Double 18, double 9.
70.
Couple of misses. Daryl Gurney, with a better setup shot than Danny had, makes this a little bit easier.
Yeah, double 8 for a break of throw here for Gurney. Gurney, who strikes first. Winner on the Eurotour in 2019 at the German Darts Championship.
Yeah, beat Ricky Evans in that final, Daryl Gurney. But it was 4 years ago, just over 4 years ago that happened. A long old while. And while he is a two-time major champion, Daryl Gurney only has the one Eurotour title to his name. In fact, he's only reached the final twice in his career. The other final was his first appearance back in 2016.
In Venray. And that was a hot weekend as well. Gurney has gone deep in this tournament before. At this venue, made the semis in Graz in 2019. And he may well be just evoking one or two memories with this run this weekend as well.
You're going to see a lot of Daryl Gurney on the European Tour this year because he's been brilliant in the qualifiers for it. And this run, coupled with all the tournaments that he's going to be at this year, I mean, I think you can ink his name in for the European Championship already, pretty much.
Yeah, and it will have a big impact on his Pro Tour Order of Merit as well. It's well, it was 31 before this weekend, so that's going to improve with further European Tour qualification to come as well.
Stay there. And he was trying to.
84. Daryl requires 67.
Double eight.
Games on the second leg.
Daryl Gurney bossing this one. And Danny Noppert kind of playing like he was in the early stages of his game with Nathan Aspinall this afternoon. He was let off because the Asp, long before it got to a last leg decider, had darts to win more than the 6 legs required for victory. He just missed chances.
Yeah, and I made the point earlier with Gurney as well. These 2 dart combinations for the finishing, we've had a couple already, but it was a real feature of that win against Humphries yesterday. He was getting himself into position, didn't need to pull out the big finishes to get the job done. And yeah, first 5 legs that he won against Humphries, 36 on double 18, 68, 66. We've just seen a 67 there, 48, 38. All very methodical, I thought, from Daryl Gurney yesterday. And there was a touch of that earlier on as well against Gilding. Didn't need to produce some show-stopping moments because it was all about the good approach play. It was, as you say, solid and consistent.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be flashy. Those finishes in the 60s and 70s and 80s, they're not particularly flashy, but if you keep on taking them out consistently, you're going to give yourself a fabulous chance. Giving himself a fabulous chance here.
56.
Comes up dry in search of a treble, but he's still got 120-point cushion here, and this is on the Noppert throw.
Yeah, he's already had a 15-dart break. He's backed it up with a 14-dart hold, and he might be
60.
Looking at something similar once again here. And once again, he's going to be down to a very manageable finish, and it's, well, more than manageable. It's a single crack at double 14.
£6,000 in ranking money for reaching this stage of the tournament. It jumps to 8.5 for semi-finalists. 12 for the final. 30 grand if you win it. Double 7. Daryl Gurney is just cruising through this game. 102 average. Danny Noppert in the 70s. He is offering so little, Noppert.
Yeah, 10 points on the average is the deficit-wise against Aspinall earlier, but yeah, he's not going to get away with this for too much longer. 15-darter, 14-darter, 15-darter. All very, very neat and tidy from Daryl Gurney.
Well, the crowd are starting to sing Noppy's name just to try and get him into the game. They want to see a contest, and at the minute he's not providing one.
43. $421.
Saw a bit of the old aggression from Daryl Gurney this afternoon in his victory over Andrew Gilding. It was good to see. I think that goes hand in hand with Gurney playing some of his best stuff. Again, I don't think we've seen his best stuff this weekend. This is the best we've seen from him. 3.5 legs into this quarter-final.
43 and a 48 for Noppert so far in this leg, and Gurney once again has been just given a massive helping hand. 270 points the deficit already after Gurney's first 3 visits. That's astonishing.
96, W140.
Well, he's not had many 3-figure checkouts this weekend. He's not going to have one here either.
92.
Well, going the 16s route means that he'll have to burn a dart to get to a double when he returns. But what he didn't want to do was stay on the treble 20, leave himself double 10. Yeah, maybe a better chance of taking out in that visit, but you could get stuck on double 10 and double 5 and all sorts. At least here, he's got a great guide for the double 16. Next door for double 8. But the truth is, he's got ages, eons of time to close this out for a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, the crowd really are silenced by this. They've not really been given anything to get their teeth into.
Yeah, me, Danny Noppert. The last 3 legs have been just empty, devoid of anything for Noppert.
Well, it's almost like he needs to just forget somehow these first 4 legs have happened and just try and start afresh. It's very hard to do that, to change the mindset, but he's got to do something just to get himself on the scoreboard in this one. Well, that was in the 60 as well, but it's on the floor.
80.
A bit more like it. But this would be just for a hold of throw for Noppert. Gurney has broken twice already.
He's starting to get the first dart where he wants it. Now he's starting to follow it. Over to the 13s, I would imagine.
433.
Much, much better from Danny Noppert.
Well, he's only had 2 darts at a double so far.
56. Danny, you require 50.
He should get 2 here. Zero from 3 and 0 from 4. Just as well that Gurney's on 185.
Yeah, but come back looking at double 5. Gurney went in search of the bullseye.
83.
Doesn't even get down to a 2-darter in the end, but these can get awkward. Oh, good dart, Danny Noppert. He's got something to work with.
Just see how Gurney responds to that as well. He's lost a tiny degree of momentum. But yeah, it's all about that first start for Noppert. In the last leg, it was more often than not the required product, but there we saw another example where he just lost his way and he wasn't able to recover.
85.
One of the features of this weekend has been how hot it's been. It has been a scorching weekend here in Austria, but less so this evening. The rains have arrived, it's really cooled down. I'm not sure how that's going to translate to the hall. It's obviously packed in there with more than 2,000 fans. It's still going to be warm, but it might not be quite as unbearable for some as it has been at times this weekend.
Yeah, it was a little bit oppressive last night for one or two players who found it hard to cope. Did have just maybe a question mark about Noppert's grip there as well. It did, the previous visit, he did seem to lose his grip on a couple of visits. Or on a couple of throws, anyway.
Well, at the minute, Daryl Gurney, it's like doing a training game against a computer, but the computer's set on easy mode for him. Because, yeah, all right, he's lost a leg, but he's not even been under pressure in a number of the legs as well.
122.
Well, 6 starts from here for a 5-1 lead.
Don't stay there. There's no point going treble 18 for double 7. Would have been a fancy way to go.
Cursory stare from Gurney after missing the target. Well, that visit there just about sums up Danny Noppert's, almost a microcosm of his evening so far. Gurney re-establishes that 4-leg lead, and he's one away from a place in the semi-finals once again here in Graz.
Well, he's only had 2 decent legs, Danny Noppert. He missed a couple of darts to win the opening leg. That was for a 14 or 15 darter. He had that 16 darter in the 5th leg, and everything else has been, by his own high standards, this is the world number 8 we're talking about, pretty desperate. And it's so, I can't remember the last time I saw Danny Noppert play this poorly. He wasn't good this afternoon. He got lucky against Nathan Aspinall. But it's a puzzlingly poor display from the Dutch number 2.
140.
Double 8 has worked really well for Gurney tonight, and indeed this weekend, full stop. 4 of the legs he's won have been secured with double 8.
140.
Well, is he getting better, Daryl Gurney? Because he's managed to improve his average from round 2 to round 3, and he's improved it again from round 3 to this quarter-final. If he keeps on moving in the right direction, in fact, if he stays at this kind of level, 97, 98 average, 40% on the doubles, he's going to be competitive. He might need more than that in the semis against Clayton or Cullen, but it might well be enough, this. That's not going to be enough to win it just yet.
40. Danny Uruguay, 32.
So to keep himself involved in the tournament, Danny Noppert looking at double 16. And he's having to move a little bit to the left-hand side to find a way through to double 8 as well.
16.
And that could well be the final dart, the last dart that Danny Noppert throws in anger this weekend. Daryl Gurney, treble 19 for double 12, single 19, and now double 13. And that is a very stylish and a very impressive performance from Daryl Gurney. A 6-1 win against Danny Noppert, another outstanding scoreline against a high-caliber opponent. And for the second time in 4 years, Daryl Gurney is through to the last 4 of the Austrian Darts Open. He made the semi-finals in 2019, and he's involved in the latter stages once again. And further evidence that perhaps Daryl Gurney is enjoying a little bit of a resurgence right now. Gurney catching the eye with a 6-1 win to set up a semi-final against either Johnny Clayton or Joe Cullen. And they meet in our next match of this evening's session.
Finalist der Interwelten Austrian Darts Open heißt Super Chin Daryl Gurney. Daryl, congratulations. A very, very commanding scoreline there. 6-1 win over Danny Noppert. Two sides to this story, really. You were playing some really good stuff, 95, 96, but Danny never really got going.
No, Danny didn't. Well, happy days, first of all. But I tell you what, whenever they were shouting for Danny, it just spurred me on. That's all I needed. Because even though they want to see a close game, well, I don't. So, yeah. No, I was glad they come away with a victory. Danny's a man on fire, and yeah, the 6-1 finish line is a wee bit flattering, but I'll take nothing from that game. I'll just know that I've won that game. Moving on now between Johnny and Joe Cullen. So, yeah, listen, I'm in my first semi-final of the European. I'm not going to get too excited, but I'm going to be ready for the fight in the semis. But no, great crowd. Still for only the same place in stems, so maybe it's a lucky thing. They are very lucky. But no, I mean the atmosphere in here, and to be honest, I played all over the world, and Graz, some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. Honestly, probably the nicest. Even whenever I'm in the hotel room, splashing out, get myself a cheese and ham toasty, they'll even say good luck in the game. So what a fantastic place, fantastic people, and I'm still glad to be. I'm really happy to be still glad of this competition. The crowd is absolutely unbelievable.
I mean, it shows in your results here as well in Graz that you like it here, because whenever you've played here, the quarterfinals were the absolute minimum that you achieved. So it works.
Oh, fantastic. So yeah. Well, I've got another couple of gears left in me yet. It's not to say like years ago, I was like, I would have been like, oh, I put everything into that game in the semi-final. I'm going to have nothing left. My first game today, I feel like I did nothing, took nothing out of me. That game, it took a wee bit out of me, but not enough to make me struggle in the next game. So I'm ready for the fight, full of energy. And yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to play Mansour in the final, but whatever.
Well, Daryl, congratulations, fantastic achievement, and best of luck in the semi-finals. Ladies and gentlemen, Super Chin Daryl Gurney.